Hi everyone, my name is Leah and welcome to the kitchen. This week we are celebrating Thanksgiving, and to celebrate this fall holiday, I thought I'd make a recipe that utilizes a fall ingredient, butternut squash. So join me today as I make homemade butternut squash ravioli. Let's get started. For this recipe, you'll need butternut squash, of course, and then we'll also be using some flour, olive oil, salt, black pepper, some eggs, ricotta cheese, grated Parmesan cheese, and I also happen to have some dried sage, dried thyme, and nutmeg. And then to be shaping my ravioli, I have this little stamp press as well.
Begin by peeling the skin off a butternut squash. Cut the squash into half-inch thick rounds. Then cut the rounds into half-inch thick slices and cut again into half-inch size cubes. Spread the cut-up squash out on a parchment paper-lined tray. Drizzle on about a tablespoon of olive oil and toss to coat the squash. Roast the squash in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 45 minutes until the squash are tender. You know the squash are done when you can easily pierce them with a fork. Transfer some of the squash to a food processor bowl. Place the lid on and blend the squash until smooth and pureed. Add 2½ cups of flour onto a clean, flat work surface. Make a well in the center of the flour mound. Add 3 eggs to the flour well, followed by a ½ cup of the butternut squash puree. Use a fork to beat the eggs and pureed squash together within the flour well. Slowly start incorporating some of the flour into the egg and squash mixture. Use a bench scraper to fold in the rest of the flour with the forming butternut squash pasta dough. Continue to knead the pasta dough together with your hands until most of the flour has been incorporated and the dough is smooth. If the dough gets too sticky though, you may need to add some more flour. Check to see that the dough is done by gently poking it and watching it spring back. Wrap the pasta dough in some plastic wrap and let it rest for at least 30 minutes. In the meantime, add 1 cup of ricotta cheese to a bowl, followed by 1 cup of butternut squash puree, and a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Season with a pinch of salt, some black pepper, a dash of nutmeg, and a sprinkle of dried thyme and dried sage. Mix everything together until smooth and combined. Unwrap the dough and cut off a small section. Run the small piece of dough through the widest setting on your pasta machine, keeping any remaining dough covered so it doesn't dry out. Fold the sheet into thirds and run it through the pasta maker again. Then fold into thirds once more and run it through the machine. Then adjust the pasta maker so it's in the middle setting of thickness. Run the sheet of pasta through the machine again. And then adjust to the second thinnest level and run the pasta sheets through at least 2 times. Spoon a teaspoon of the ricotta filling onto the flattened pasta sheet. Place the second sheet on top of the filling and use your fingers to mold the two sheets together around the filling. Cut out the ravioli with a stamp and continue to lay out flattened pasta sheets, spooning on teaspoonful amounts of the prepared ricotta filling on the pasta sheet, keeping a couple inches between each spoonful of filling. Place the second sheet on top of the filling and continue cutting out the ravioli. For any excess dough, you can re-roll it together and make more ravioli.
To finish my butternut squash ravioli, I'm going to be making a sage brown butter sauce with some butter, sage, olive oil, chicken stock, and white wine.
Add 4 tablespoons of butter to a sauté pan, followed by 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and melt the butter over medium heat. Add a handful of fresh sage leaves to the melted butter, about 10 to 12, and fry for 2 to 3 minutes. Pour in a 1/4 cup of dry white wine and stir and simmer for 2 minutes to cook off the alcohol. Then add a 1/4 cup of chicken stock and simmer for another 2 minutes. Remove the lid from a large pot of boiling water. Add the ravioli a few at a time to the boiling water, allowing to cook for 2 to 3 minutes. The ravioli are done when they float to the top, and you can remove them using a slotted spoon and place directly into the prepared butter sage sauce. Continue cooking the remaining ravioli, adding a few at a time, cooking for a few minutes, and adding directly to the sauce when done. Gently stir the ravioli in the sauce to coat, and enjoy.
Making homemade butternut squash ravioli is a delicious labor of love, and I'm so excited to enjoy some for this Thanksgiving. If you're interested in my recipe for these butternut squash ravioli, be sure to click the link in the description box below to visit my website, leahnoelcooking.com. There you'll find all my recipes written out, photos, videos, and more. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and hit that subscribe button for more delicious recipes.